Okay, 9.2. This is like the third time I've recorded this, so hopefully I got the audio right. So we're doing special right triangles, which means that they're the most common and they have a really cool ratio, like it's a very constant thing. So the three most common are 30, 60, 90 degree angles, 45, 45, 90 degree angles, and then a 3, 4, 5 side. So with the 30, 60, 90, these come up a lot in bridges, like the truss systems. You know, you've got a bridge, you see those triangles. These are the most common types. So we like to know for sure what the side ratios are going to be. Like if I were to look at this side compared to this side, then it's always the radical 3 to 2. It might be multiples of that, but that's what it simplifies to be. And same thing, 1 to 2, it's always half that size. So the key thing is knowing that 30 degrees is always going to be a 1 across from it. The 90 degrees will always have a 2, and the 60 will always have the radical 3 across. Even if it's rotated like this, okay, you just know that's a radical 3. Same thing happens with the 45, but 45 degrees, these are congruent, which means that these sides are the same. So 45, 45, radical 2, and the 90 degrees still gets a 2. And the last one, 3, 4, 5, this is just constant sides. It could be a 6, 8, and a 10, and it still works. So just know if there's that ratio, then you can fill in Pythagorean theorem super easily. Okay, so it's just identifying which triangle you have. Okay, and then using the ratio. So like if I gave you this side, you know that it should be a 1 ratio, and if I gave you this side, it should be a 2 ratio. Just one note, we're going to be seeing a lot of radicals, and you can't have a radical on the bottom. That's a big no-no. So to simplify, like if I had 2 over radical 6, I times the top and the bottom by radical 6, which makes that 2 radical 6 and radical 36, which becomes just whole number 6. So we get 2 radical 6 over 6, and you can reduce those each by 2. Not this guy, okay? Can't reduce the radical. So we get radical 6 over 3. So that's how you reduce radicals. And not even reducing, really. It's really just moving it. Okay, so if you take a look here, 30 degrees, I know this has to be 60 because a triangle is 180. So across from the 30, we're going to assign this a 1. Across from the 90, we're going to assign this a 2. And across from the 60, we're going to assign this the radical 3. So I'm going to look at the first unknown. Let's do the x. Okay, and look at the one we know, the 4 radical 3. So we're going to put the blue numbers, let's do the givens on top, and then the blue numbers, so that 2 and that radical 3 on bottom. And then, just like last unit, we are going to cross multiply. So here we get 4 radical 9 and 2x, which really, that's a 3, which makes that a 12. And then we divide the 2. So we get 6 equals x. And we're going to do the same thing, and now with the y and that given again. So we still have that 4 radical 3 and the 2. Now we have the y with the 1. So those blue numbers I wrote have to go on bottom, and we cross multiply. So we get 4 radical 3 equals 2y. And notice we can't have the 2 with the y, so we have to divide it, which only affects the front number. So we get 2 radical 3 equals y. And that is it. So let's try another one of these. Okay, this is a 45. So remember, across from 45, assign the radical 2. This means this is another 45, so that's also a radical 2. And the 90 degrees gets a 2. So let's look at, let's do the same colors here. Let's look at x. Okay, so the 7 and the x came from our triangle. And then the radical 2 and the 2 were our written numbers in gray. So we're going to cross multiply and get 14 equals radical 2x. So we're going to divide the radical 2. So we get, let's see, 14 over radical 2 equals x. And this was the big no-no. We can't have that radical on bottom. So that's where we move the radical up top, basically, and the whole number on bottom. So all this stood is we moved it up top. And then we can simplify that to make 7, and then keep the radical 2 the same. So if you have trouble with converting this to this, come see me. Okay, let's look at the y. So I'm going to use red here. So there's the y. There's our known number. So we have the 7 with the radical 2. And we have the y with the radical 2. And cross multiplying here, we should get a nice whole number. So let's see. We get 7 radical 2 and radical 2y. They have a radical 2 on this side that we have to get rid of. So that cancels. Radicals cancel, so we get 7 as y. And notice here, if this is congruent to this should be congruent to this. Just a hint. Okay, that is it. Pretty easy stuff. Come talk to me if you have questions on it.